There is no better way to learn Tinkercad than just to get in and do it. Start creating stuff, start 3D printing, make stuff that you like or that you're going to use, and you're going to learn how to do it. It's really fun, really easy. Um, you read the instructions for your project. We're going to create a desk plate. I am going to go step by step how to create a basic desk plate. If you want to stick with me and do completely basic desk plate, that is absolutely okay. But I am going to encourage you to create your own desk plate here, right? It simply is a plate that has your name on it, and so it's got to be able to stand up. Those are really the only parameters. I do need it to fit on the 3D printer bed, and so it can be up to 10 inches wide. But let's get creative. Just like the video before this, set me off to the side. Put me on your phone, on your iPad, on the TV, whatever. Free up your entire screen space so that you can play around with Tinkercad while I'm talking and creating myself. So throughout this video, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to get better at it. Um, and so anyway, that's enough yapping. Let's just get started. So we're on our Tinkercad homepage here. I'm going to go to Create, and then I'm going to hit 3D Design. That's going to open up a blank work plane. Um, let's remember some of our controls. Remember that we are working in a 3D environment, and so we need to look at our design from all of the ways that we can look at it using our little cube up here. You can also click around. And remember, if you get at a weird place with your screen, you can't figure out how to get back to it, hit that home button and it's going to get you right back to default view. You probably have noticed this, but Tinkercad is a whole lot easier to use if you have a mouse. It's going to make it much easier to manipulate. Mouse or touchscreen is going to help you out. On the right hand side here is our shape menu. Lots of different shapes. Hit the button there to find all the cool stuff, and then hit the search button to find exact things that you want. So we are making a desk plate, meaning we have to make something that is going to stand up. It should have your name on it, and it needs to fit on my 3D printer bed, which is about 10 inches big. So as long as we keep things under 250 millimeters ish, we are golden. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do first, and remember, I'm doing the basics, so please, by all means, do the extra. I want to see these super extra cool desk plates. I really do. But I need a base shape. I need a base shape that's going to stand up, and so it should have a flat bottom. I am going to build my desk plate with it laying on its back. And that's just going to be easier for my printer to just print directly up rather than having to build supports and kind of print out, if that makes sense. We can look at that more when I get to the slicing part of things, but I'm going to build it on its back. So for my base shape, I grabbed a cube. You can just click and drag them onto your work plane. Resize here with the white squares. And remember, this number that's displayed is in millimeters. So I gave you some um, instructions as far as how big your plate should be. In fact, let's bring that back up. So here are the instructions. So this is a good starter size. This is not the size it has to be. We just can't make it over 250 millimeters. So how big it is kind of up to you. All right, so knowing that, I'm going to start at the starter size. Give me an idea of what I'm doing here. So 120 millimeters long, 40 millimeters. This is the height, remember, because this will stand up like this on your desk, but we're building it laying on its back. All right, I got my basic shape. Now I can make it pretty and add whatever it is I want to add. So I'm gonna go through a couple of options here with you, and then you can make it what you want it to look like. Okay. So I probably am going to want my name or a phrase or something. I want it to say something. So under your basic shapes, you're going to find the text. And then you're going to click and drag that. This acts just like a shape. So in the same way you can manipulate this rectangle cube thing, you can manipulate this the same way. You'll notice when I click on my shapes, a an additional menu pops up. And each shape has different things that you can change within it. When I click on the text, you'll see text shows here. So I'm going to change that. Whatever I type here, it's going to display here. So it's creating that 3D image of a word. I've got a couple of font choices. There is going to be an additional video with like extra. So if you want to get super extra with your desk plate, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. And one of those is creating an SVG file with like cursive letters, for example, that you can import into here. But anyway, we're going to keep it simple for now. I tend to like this one. Alright, so I've got my name. I need my name up here. I'm not going to move it on top of it. What I'm actually going to do is just make it taller than the cube. See how it's taller? And I'm going to move it into the cube. Okay, so remember I'm building my desk plate on its back. This is sticking out a little too much. There's not an exact right number for how much you should let it stick out, but 5 to 10 millimeters-ish is a pretty um, good amount to be sticking out. And remember, our cube is 20 millimeters tall, and so if this is 26 millimeters tall, there's 6 millimeters popping out there. So I think that's pretty good. Um, I am going to place it where I want it. And I think for now I'm just whoop, 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 whoop. For now I'm just going to do this. And now I want to add some stuff to it. I want to add some flair. I've got my name, I want some flair. I've given you one file that you might like. Your little STEM Academy bears down here. So it says STEM Bear SVG. Click on that and download it. If you cannot find a shape that you like in this library of shapes, which by the way, it has a ton of shapes, right? But if I'm looking for something that's like a custom shape, I can import an SVG, and so long as it's the right type of SVG, Tinkercad does have some exceptions for like what it should be. It will generate a 3D image of that SVG. So check it out. So I'm going to import. I'm going to choose a file so it supports STL object files and SVGs. Here's my STEM Bear SVG. It's a little big, so I'm just going to scale it until it fits. Okay, there we go. Import. It's going to think for a second. And now I've got a 3D stem bear. A very massive 3D stem bear. So now this little guy is going to work just like the other objects. I can manipulate the height and the length. Sorry, the length and the width. I can manipulate the height. I can move it up and down along the z-axis. Okay, so let's see if I can get him. I think I want him just to fit beside my name. A little big. And remember, if you end up that you have a lot more, these numbers are not set in stone. So I might actually make mine a wee bit bigger. Because I think I'm going to want to add some extra layers of text as well. So I'm making my little stem bear fit. Okay, there we go. And he is sticking out a little more than I want, actually. That's better. That's the same amount as the text, so that will work for me. So now I am going to, I think I'm going to play with my text a little bit. And I want to add some more flair to it. Might use this, might use this. We're going to see what I can do with those. But anyway, I'm going to make this, change it a little bit. Just like with any other application, you can Control C, Control V to paste, copy and paste. I'm going to change that. I had in my head what I wanted it to say, and then it just left. I think I'm just going to put iLab. Move that down a little bit. So if you're moving teeny tiny, like just a teeny bit, you can use your up and down arrows on your computer to move it just a little bit. Okay, and then I think I'm going to use these gears. Let's see. Maybe I should make them tall first. And then I wonder, they don't really fit together. We're going to pretend like they fit together. So I'm resizing those. If I've got something that I like the ratio of, like right now, for example, I like how my name and iLab fit together. I can group these. That way I can just move them around like that together, and I don't have to constantly. In fact, I can do that with the little bear too. Let me see. Let me get my little bear. Group it, and then it becomes all one object that can move around together. Okay. So I got the bear, got my name. I want to add these gears. I want them to be the same height. So 29, 30. We're going to make them both 26 millimeters tall, so they match. And then I am going to group these because I want the ratio to stay the same. I'm going to make them smaller right there. Yeah, I like that. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so now I have an image that I exported, a couple of images from the library, and some text. I'm going to ungroup these. So when you click on each of your shapes, what you'll notice is that you've got, it says solid, so it's a solid rather than a whole, right? And then you can change the color. When it comes to 3D printing, it doesn't matter what color it is. The color, the actual color of how I'm going to determine what color my desk plate is printed in will come into the slicing process. However, for this project, I want you to change the color of your object to the color that you want me to print it in. Keeping in mind that we can print up to 4 colors. So I am going to change this to, I'm going to customize it. I'm going to do a blue color. If you have the exact hex number of the color that you want, you can paste it here. Just a little tip, because in my brain I was like, oh, I should make this the ODU blue color. I think I like, do I like that? There we go, that's a little better. Okay, so I'm going to make my plate navy. I'm going to make these little gears like a silver color. I'm going to make this guy, this little guy, like a light blue color. There we go, I like that. Like, kind of like Carolina blue. And then I'm going to make this, I'm going to make that match the gears. I'm going to make it silver. No, I'm not. I don't like that. I'm going to make it white. All right. Um, your kids will love to change the colors of things. Just remind them that it doesn't dictate what is actually printed on the 3D printer. So now I have a basic nameplate, right? Um, now that you're done, in order to bring it, the next step is slicing. So in order to bring it over to the slicing software, you need an STL file. And so we're going to go to export. Make sure you include everything in the design and then STL. That's going to take a minute to think, and then it's going to spit out an STL file for you. And so the next step is slicing, which will be the next video.